First Facebook Live. Got to be totally honest, not 100% sure what I'm doing, but we're going to just have a crack at it and see how we go. The goal behind it is really helping people see what goes on inside our office and get a little bit of insight into things like our meetings and what happens when we sit down with clients and what are some of the things we go through. Sometimes we'll just bring some kind of tech tips and helping you understand products better or information better. And sometimes we want to bring you client wins as well when we have clients who have really good outcomes and the advice really helps, and we want to share those things with you so that you get a bit of a feel for what we're about at Priority Financial Advice. So kicking it off today, I want to talk about a meeting I had just this week, and I was sitting down with a couple of people who are looking at coming on board as clients, and they were running me through a bit of their situation and scenario, and something recently that had come up for them was this issue of death nominations on superannuation, and they weren't even fully aware of how important that is, because their life insurance policies will pay to their super fund, and the super fund will then pay the beneficiaries. So the amount that's going to be directed by that one nomination for them could be in the vicinity of $500,000 or $600,000. But they had worked out it's important to have one, and they were trying to understand what is this binding, what is this non-binding thing. And so they had read up about it and realised they wanted binding. And what that means is this nomination is binding on the superannuation fund trustee, that when I pass away, this money goes to that person. And there's a bunch of rules around that and how they work and whether they're lapsing or non-lapsing, but in essence, that's what it means. It means it's binding on whatever my super fund is, that when I die, the money goes there. The alternative is what's called a non-binding nomination. And exactly as it sounds, that's not binding on the trustee. Now, the trustee's always got to operate in your best interest. They're never going to rip you off, sneak it into their own back pocket, never do anything dodgy like that. But it's just not binding on them. So they start to apply a little bit of logic and a little bit of rationale as to maybe that's not how they wanted that to go. And so depending on your circumstance, depending on what kind of will and estate plan you've got set up, binding might be the go for you, non-binding might actually be the go for you. It doesn't work out that one way is always the way to go. It doesn't work out that one way is always the way you don't go. Different clients in different situations need different outcomes for their death benefit nominations. So jump online, jump on your super fund, check out where yours is at, make sure you've got someone nominated. If you don't, by default, it'll usually end up going to your will, but check that out. All the super funds are different and how they handle it is different. So hope it's been insightful for you, and we'll be back in a couple of days with more. Thanks.